Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your February the 17th, just for today, in a meditation. Feel free to reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Hope you're doing well today. Okay, let's see here. It is entitled Carrying the Message, Not the Addict. This should be good. They can be analyzed, counseled, reasoned with, prayed over, threatened, beaten, or locked up, but they will not stop until they want to stop. Basic text, page 65. Perhaps one of the most difficult truths we must face in our recovery is that we are as powerless over another's addiction as we are over our own. We may think that because we've had a spiritual awakening in our own lives, we should be able to persuade another addict to find recovery. But there are limits to what we can do to help another addict. We cannot force them to stop using. We cannot give them the results of the steps or growth for them. We cannot take away their loneliness or their pain. There is nothing we can say to convince a scared addict to surrender the familiar misery of addiction for the frightening uncertainty of recovery. We cannot jump inside other people's skin, shift their goals, or decide for them what is best for them. However, if we refuse to try to exert this power over another's addiction, we may help them. They may grow if we allow them to face reality, painful though it may be. They may become more productive by their own definition as long as we don't try and do it for them. They can become the authority on their own lives, provided we are only authorities on our own. If we can accept all this, we can become what we were meant to be, carriers of the message, not the addict. Just for today, I will accept that I am powerless not only over my own addiction, but also over everyone else's. I will carry the message, not the addict. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. A moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just for today. Please and thank you. What a powerful meditation, one that gives me pause, because I know certainly there have been times, and not too far in the distant, that I've tried to carry the addict. I know that my heart is large, it's huge, and I want everyone to get it. But the truth of this meditation is not one that I can take lightly. It's not one that you can take lightly. We do the still suffering addict, the using addict, we do them a disservice when we try to lighten the fall. We try to make sure that there's some cushion or there's a safety net. And the more that we do that, the less likely it is that they will ever meet the reality of their circumstances. They will never really know their true bottom and be given the gift of desperation because we're in the way. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I am speaking from my own experience. The more that you try to make their landing softer, the more confusing your own life becomes, the more dependent they become upon you, and the less likely they will have the opportunity to experience their own disease of addiction and the reality of just how far from living they actually have become. The way to help an individual that you're struggling with disconnecting from is to disconnect. Block, disconnect, give them a warning shot, in other words. Hey, I'm about to block you. I know you're going to be trying to reach for me, but you won't be able to reach me because you need to walk this out. There's nothing else I can do for you. And that may open a whole bunch of other conversation, but you're giving them the information. Don't think that I don't care about you. I do. I care enough about you to let you go. And people, this is the hardest place for someone that cares about individuals. And you've been holding them in prayer and you've been counseling them and trying to reason with them. You've been doing all of the things noted in the quote above from the basic text, page 65. But the day has to come where you make the decision that you're going to really help them. Because all of these things has done nothing more than to get by them more time to commit suicide on a payment plan, using daily, manipulating yourself and others daily, creating false hope in individuals that keep hoping that they might get it. When you send a message about the block, if you send the message, if you have that much courage, don't unblock. If you find out that they have another way of reaching you, block that as well. Maybe when they see that the person that they've always ran to and depended upon is no longer available, maybe they'll make a different decision. One that means they want to live. Are you going to doubt yourself during the process? I have. This is a very serious topic to me. This deals with codependency. This is very serious. However, what I do know is that their life is not increased by me catching every fall, picking them up every time. Let them reach for the meetings. Let them reach for the group. Let the group be their sponsor. There will be nights where you might cry yourself to sleep because you're full of worry, especially in Michigan. You're worried to death about whether or not they're freezing, whether or not they made it inside somewhere to a warming center, whether or not they're paying attention to whether or not they've eaten, taking care of their body. Maybe they have health conditions that you know about and you're concerned about that. The power of prayer, if you're a praying person, the power of meditation, the power of warm vibes, whatever you want to call it, send it their way. But take your hands off the situation. I have to remind myself every day, you're not their God. You're not your own God. You've never been anyone's God. Get out the way and allow the course to run, allow the situation to run its course. Let the butterfly go. And maybe it'll make its way back to you. I've been doing this here for the last week or so, and it has been a struggle. It has been a true struggle. You block one way of contact, it seems like there's another way to reach you. You block that one, then there's another way to reach you. Before you know it, it feels as though you're being almost harassed and you don't know what the purpose of all of this is. The purpose is that you remain sane and healthy in your own recovery and functional in your day-to-day living, present, and that the individual will get their own gift of desperation and not be so dependent upon it. And they can't get that with you or myself in the way. I know you can do it. Carry the message and not the addict. Think about it. Think about it, because you may be in this situation or you've been in this situation. Maybe one of your best friends in recovery is in this situation. There's plenty of married people that used to use together, and then the one person comes into recovery and now they're trying to figure out how to carry the message and not their mate, and they're using. Some of them gotten so fed up, they've had to file for custody of the kids, a divorce. There's all kinds of experiences right here within the rooms. And surely yours is not unique. I know mine is not. I know mine is not. However, it is very important that they have their own experience of surrender, because it's that personalized experience of surrender, their bottom, that will allow them to make different choices, hopefully, and continue to live. It's not always a guarantee. I do want to say that there. It is not always a guarantee that they will make a different decision that will lean into living. We've lost some. We've lost some. And that is always a possibility. However, the chances of them wanting to do something different are a lot greater when I'm out of the way, when you're out of the way. Listen, guys, have a beautiful February the 17th. As you know, I'm recovering from a surgery by the time you hear this. I'm creating this content in advance just for you. And I can't wait to be with you again live. Have a beautiful day on purpose. Talk to you soon.